There is a topic I wanted to discuss for a while. Ever since we went into lockdown and ever since we started worrying about COVID, we've seen the value of our money sort of systematically come down. We need to figure out how to protect our money from COVID. So we spent the last few months protecting ourselves physically from COVID, but now we have to figure out how to protect our money from COVID. Let's take a look at everything that has happened, right? So far, we know that a lot of people have lost jobs. A lot of people have taken pay cuts, which means that your family budget has shrunk one way or the other. And now with a smaller budget, you need to figure out how to shore up your savings, because you don't want your savings to be at risk at this point, and you want your money to be safe. So here are our questions for our viewers who are joining in. We will also take questions from you through the course of the conversation. But this is where we are. One, how do you prepare your finances for job loss and for pay cuts? This is the most important thing. How do you make sure that if you lose your job tomorrow, and it's not about how talented you are, this might happen to any of us, how will you manage? Second question, how do you protect your savings from uncertainty? And if there's one thing we know for sure about this year, it is uncertainty. We don't know how this is going to play out and for how long it's going to be. Three, with fixed deposit rates falling, where should I keep my savings right now? What is the best place to keep my savings where it's safe and it gets a decent interest rates? And finally, should I use this opportunity to take my money out of equity? Is it going to stay where it is right now, or are things going to get worse? What happens to the rest of the people who are worried about losing jobs, who've already lost jobs, who have gotten pay cuts, or they've had their incentives sort of taken back? How do we prepare our finances for the worst? Because for most people, the worst might be coming. What's your advice there?
Back to basics. One is divide your money, which you need in the interim. And, if you had an emergency fund or whatever, bump it up depending on, because it will change. It will be different for different people. I think, it is about time that, nobody actually heeded to, we were in good times, everybody was getting his raise. Everybody was assured of his job. If somebody lost his job, he was able to find a new one. Things are quite different. So, this is a grim reminder that and people are more receptive to planning and thinking, getting more thoughtful about their personal finances. And the rules remain the same, say, what we have been talking for all these 8-10 years is that the money that you need, have your emergency fund, have your life insurance if you're financial dependent, have your health insurance, and beef up your emergency fund. And I think, for people who have no savings, that is the real worry. That yes. What do those people do? Invest in yourself or invest in adding skills. Because if you don't have capital and if you have a grim outlook of your career or job, that's the only thing you have in hand. And for anybody who has any money, and if you have to take a pay cut, take it. But hold on to your job if you can, because this is not time to get choosy.
Hold on to your job is also very interesting advice. I think that at this point, many of us would either be taking pay cuts from our employers, or if you're looking for a new job because you've been laid off, the new job will come at a lower pay. So it's more important to have the job at this point than hang on to the pay. Does it make sense to take some jewelry out of the locker and sell it right now?
Yes, absolutely. That is what, we never had this opportunity in the past. It was only, it was being, everybody was pretending that this was my emergency money. And now if the emergency has arrived, and, if the only thing you are left with is gold, then I think you should just be doing two things. Sell gold and start looking for a job aggressively, and spend as little as possible so that that money can last as long as possible.
You need to sit down and categorize all of the spending. And you can do this by looking at your bank statement. It will tell you where the money is going. Write down 3 categories. Completely superfluous spending, things you can do without. And the good thing is that we've been in a lockdown, so you've not watched a movie, you've not bought popcorn, you've not gone shopping, you've not gone out for dinner. This is all savings. The next category is things that you can't do without, but you can actually bring down. So you can cut your expenses, switch off the ACs, save money on electricity, all of those things. And the third category is things that are non-negotiable. So once you actually map things out in these 3 categories, you will know where to cut the money from and where to actually save the money from. But excellent advice coming from Virendra. This is really big. Sell the gold, guys. Sell the gold. if you are going to consider gold as an investment, and then you cannot get sentimentally attached to it. If it's an investment, now the price is great, you should sell that investment. That's how investments work. But you can't hold on to it saying, oh, I'm sentimentally attached. Should I hold on to my equity mutual funds at this point? Because it's at a comfortable point now where someone who wants to take money off the table won't be losing too much.
Yeah, if you have been investing for a couple of years, you may not lose any money. But that's not the point. I think if you have your plan, if your money is there for the long term, and long term meaning what, the definition of long term, which we devised when we used to do our weekly program, was 5 years and more. So if it's 5 years and more, don't do anything. If you are on with your job, if you're on and the outlook for your job is not grim, if you're not scared that you might lose your job, or there could be skill down, or there could be a salary cut. If you have, if you have any of those doubts, then do something about it, in the sense that use this opportunity. Long-term money should be in equity substantially. But at the same time, if every portfolio should also have some fixed income, and that fixed income can go up. Beef up your emergency fund. For that, take some money out from equity. But that doesn't mean don't react in a knee-jerk way, because if somebody would, if you act in a panic, people who, there are people who write to me, and not some, quite a few, who actually took their money out in a hurry because they were relatively new. They saw their values crumbling, and it crumbled by 35% in a span of 7 days in March. And they took out because they panicked. And their losses are permanent now. The real problem is not that they panicked and they took the money out at loss. The real problem is that they are finding it extremely difficult to get in again. And maybe they will be deprived of, the whole equity business, or the equity, the case for equity, or the charm of equity for their lifetime. Because equity is going to be like this only, whether it is pandemic, or whether it is financial crisis, or there could be something which could be, very limited to your portfolio. But equity markets will be erratic at all times. And you have to find a way to navigate through this.
Fixed deposit, property, or gold, what is a better investment?
I would like to share my view here, that I don't think of, investment in property today, because it is it has changed dramatically. Commercial real estate, which was considered to be mainstay, or a rewarding option. I don't know how, the dynamics will change after this crisis. Definitely, if you're paying rent, and if you have money, buy a home in which you can live in. One should always buy a home and start paying, saving on the rent, and make sure that, you're buying a home which is manageable enough. It is not exceeding 30-35% of your income. So either you are putting your down payment, and it might be a great time for all those people who want to buy a home. But don't look at it as an investment, because you are going to live in it forever.
So here's my question to you about buying a home and not renting. For those people who have bought over the last 3-4 years, say, they would have, let's assume argument's sake, someone's bought a house for 50 lakh rupees. They've taken a loan which they continue to pay on it. The value of that home has fallen over the last year, and is likely to continue to fall because real estate is slumping. Now you actually have an asset that is worth 40 lakh rupees, or maybe 35, but you're paying a loan on the 50 lakh rupee price. How do you navigate that? How do we make our peace with that?
It doesn't matter, if you have provided for it, if you are saving on the rent, then don't look at the prices. You have your home and you're saving on the rent. It was in your scheme of things. It will be a problem if you actually bought that house to be sold after 1 year, that you will have to take that loss. You are going to live in this forever. So maybe stop checking prices of your home after you start living in it.
Let me just do a recap of everything we talked about, if I can. First of all, simply go back to the basics. Make sure you have an emergency fund, especially if you think you're going to lose your job, you're going to get a pay cut. Try and put as much money aside. 6 months of spending, or 6 months of kharcha set aside as an emergency fund is ideal, but as close as you can get to it would be best. Cut back on everything else in order to build that emergency fund. We've never needed it more than we've needed it today. Make sure your life insurance is in order, your health insurance is in order. Invest in yourself at this point. If you've lost your job, pick up new skills and try to find a way to make yourself relevant. Hold on to the job instead of the pay. So if you have to take a pay cut, it's fine. Take a pay cut, but keep the job. Sell the gold if you can sell the gold if there's an emergency in the house. Remember, if you bought the gold as an investment, then you sell it as an investment. Now you don't get sentimental about it and hold on to it. Gold is currently priced best to be sold. Make sure that you're investing in equity for the very long term. So for 15 years, 20 years, even if it's money you don't need for the next 8 to 10 years, keep it in equity mutual funds. That's the best way to get there. If you are someone who prefers fixed deposits and you find the fixed deposit rate is coming down, if you're a senior citizen, use the senior citizen savings scheme, use the post office savings schemes, and then use debt mutual funds if you absolutely have to. If you're going to invest in stock, do it if you are someone who likes to do the homework. If you're not going to do the homework, then just pick an equity diversified mutual fund, and that should do the trick for you.